Emily Carter was a 29-year-old nurse living in a quiet apartment complex on the outskirts of Cedar Falls, Iowa. By all accounts, her life was unremarkable, a steady routine of hospital shifts and a solitary home life. That routine broke every night at exactly 3:03 a.m. Emily would vanish from her locked apartment, only to return hours later covered in mud and bruises, with absolutely no memory of where she had been. Security cameras inside the apartment captured the moments before she left. Emily would stand completely still in her kitchen, staring at the wall as if listening to an internal frequency. Then she would whisper a single sentence, "He's waiting for me." She began waking up with physical artifacts she couldn't explain. One morning, it was a motel key from a town 40 miles away. Another, she found a child's drawing in her jacket pocket. It depicted a red barn, a single tree, and a woman standing beside a hole in the ground. On the back, 3 words were scrawled in shaky handwriting: "Find me first." Medical examinations showed nothing unusual, and police could find no evidence of an intruder. The mystery left investigators with a difficult question: what force was driving a conscious human to navigate the world while their mind remained completely offline? Specialists ruled out common sleep disorders. Emily wasn't experiencing typical night terrors or standard sleepwalking. Her movements were too purposeful, and her physical stamina during these episodes was far beyond a norm for a parasomnia patient. Detective Michael Reed took a different approach. He audited the town's traffic and security grid, looking for Emily's car and movements on the nights she disappeared from her home. The data revealed a startling consistency. Emily wasn't wandering. Every night, she followed the exact same route through back roads and empty farmland, heading toward a specific point far beyond the town limits. This geographic precision suggested that her subconscious wasn't just active, it was following a map. Emily was being pulled toward a destination her conscious mind didn't even know existed. The route ended at an old farming property that had been deserted for decades. The silos were rusting, and the main house was a skeleton of rotting wood. Detective Reed followed her to the site at 3 a.m. He watched from the shadows as Emily parked, walked to a collapsing red barn, and began digging into the earth with her bare hands. Suddenly, she stopped. She looked directly at the detective, though her eyes remained distant. She whispered, "You're too late," and instantly collapsed into the dirt. Police searched the patch of earth Emily had been excavating. Beneath the topsoil, they found a small cache of personal items: a bracelet, a wallet, and a necklace. The items belonged to Rachel Dawson, a local woman who had disappeared 12 years earlier. The case had been cold for a decade, but Emily had just provided the first physical evidence of where Rachel might be. Emily's nightly episodes had functioned as a biological compass, leading authorities to a hidden grave that had evaded every traditional search effort. The discovery led police to the property's owner at the time of the disappearance, Daniel Harper. A full forensic sweep of his land eventually uncovered the remains of multiple victims, linking him to a series of unsolved crimes stretching back years. The connection between Emily and the victims finally surfaced in an old photograph from a community event. It showed a teenage Emily Carter standing directly next to Rachel Dawson, weeks before Rachel vanished. This proximity provided the missing link. Investigators believe that as a teenager, Emily didn't just know Rachel, she likely witnessed the abduction or a related trauma. To survive the shock, her brain partitioned the event, burying the data so deeply that she lost all conscious access to the memory. Somnambulistic memory recall occurs when the brain creates an isolated pocket for trauma beneath our active surface awareness. Moving into Rachel's identical apartment provided environmental cues signaling this pocket. During sleep, this memory bypassed her prefrontal cortex, taking control of physical movement. A dormant trauma, reactivated by a specific physical environment, had repurposed a sleep state to force a decade-old secret into the light. Daniel Harper was convicted and sentenced to life in prison. The recovery of the victims allowed several families in Cedar Falls to finally receive the closure they had sought for over a decade. For Emily, the solution was clinical. Once she processed the memory of the event through therapy, the nightly disappearances stopped. With the data no longer isolated, her brain no longer felt the need to physically act it out. The case stands as a reminder that the human mind does not truly delete information. It simply moves it out of reach until the right conditions force it to the surface. But as the investigation closed, one detail remained that no psychological theory could account for: the child's drawing found in Emily's pocket. Forensic analysis of the paper and crayons revealed a disturbing fact. The materials used to create that drawing were manufactured 6 years after Rachel Dawson had been killed. It was physically impossible for it to be a relic from the original crime. There were no fingerprints on the page, and in the very corner, written in ink so small it was nearly invisible to the naked eye, were the final 4 words of the case: "Thank you for finding us."